fresh water from the jungle flows over the heavier salt water from the sea. The saltwater layer is extremely low in oxygen, making it a particularly difficult place for animals to live. Yet some have managed it, like the remipede, one of the most ancient of all living crustaceans.
When you think California girl, you probably think of someone like Angela Collins, a blonde with surfer girl looks. Angela grew up Catholic, but she left the church and converted, and today Angela Collins is Muslim. She spoke with Jim Murray about her life and the choice she made.
When you look at this photo of Angela Collins, she looks like the all-American girl with blonde hair and gorgeous blue eyes. But that was the old Angela. Now you wouldn't recognize her. Today, Angela never shows her blonde hair in public. In fact, she never goes out without being covered up, because Angela is a recent convert to Islam. She is now a Muslim. She was a typical California girl growing up in Mission Viejo, California, right in the heart of the OC. That's right, the area made popular by the shows The OC and MTV's Laguna Beach. These are family photos of Angela growing up in a traditional Catholic family. So why would she ever give up everything she knew to follow the teachings of Islam and work running a school for Muslim children?
What do you want people to know about why you converted?
I was seeking truth, and I found it in my religion.
About 5 years ago, Byers couldn't have pinpointed what belief system he followed. He was raised a Christian, but Byers remembers feeling let down by his faith when bad things happened in his life.
I would always question, like, why would God do that to me, or my family, or my friends, it just didn't make sense to me. And then I got pretty angry. That was, like, the only time in my life where I was really angry about a lot of stuff.
Now Byers is feeling more settled. This past spring, he was encouraged by some friends to learn more about Islam. What he found was a belief system that, he says, was a perfect match for his logical mind. So in the summer, Byers spoke the Shahada, the testimony of faith that states Allah is the only God and Muhammad the last prophet of Islam.
Once you say that line and you mean it in your heart and you're honest with yourself, you are a Muslim.
In terms of a defining moment, I can definitely say that the minute I came across a scientific fact in the Quran, like my thinking style is very rational. I like to think based on fact rather than emotion, because I've done a lot of emotional religious activity in different groups, and I knew that the truth wasn't only an emotional component, it was a logical, rational component. And I needed to find a truth that was consistent and rational all the way through. And when I came across, I guess, reading books about science in the Quran, that's what started to propel me towards finding out about the religion. But definitely the defining moment was the day I took my declaration of faith, the Shahada.
So I came to see that the Trinity doctrine, the divinity of Jesus doctrine, the death and resurrection doctrine of Christianity, it was all on thin ice. It was very flimsy and weak indeed. And I was frustrated and angry, and I didn't like Ahmadiyyat in the beginning, I must say. I was frustrated at the Christian speakers because they had PhD in Christian theology, but they could not refute Mr. Ahmadiyyat, who was self-taught in the Bible. And he, of course, being a Muslim, was using the Bible to refute my own Christian doctrines. So basically what I did was I started studying the Christian doctrines from an Islamic perspective. I never looked at the Bible before outside the Christian perspective. I started seeing that Didat was absolutely correct, and I, as a Christian, was on the wrong path. I was on the wrong path to salvation. Christianity was not the true religion of God. Basically, I saw in Islam all the truth that I recognize in my soul that appealed to me as being the correct way of life that God would want me to live.
I do read Quran in the English translation at the moment because I don't know how to read Arabic. I should imagine that once I do know how to read it, I'll be able to appreciate it a lot more. Obviously, because it's in Quranic Arabic, it's a miracle within itself. I think it's important to read Quran because it answers everyday questions. It's a guidebook for life, basically.
She was raised a Christian and said she converted after she was able to see past the stereotypes and learned about the values of Islam.
The concept of freedom and liberty of each individual person and the rights of each person, and that's all wrapped up in the theological teachings of Islam as well.
Yes, I'm an American. I'm very outspoken. I'm pretty assertive and very happy person.
I began to read the Quran. The first thing that struck me is that it was very similar to the Bible. It talks about Moses, Abraham, Job. A lot of the verses in the Quran, it asks you to reflect on your own existence. Look at the tree, look at the birds, look at your own creation, how amazing your own body is. And that in itself is sufficient for you to say, well, I'm something special and something special has created me. The more I read it, the more clear it became. In fact, the Quran was the word of God, without doubt. And that this is what I had to follow. I knew that in my heart.
Anyway, I'm very, very happy to tell you that I did take my Shahada on June 30th last year. And I have now joined what I consider to be the biggest family in the world. Just makes me so proud to stand before you today and say I am a Muslim. Thank you.
We don't have, as I said, all the dogma around it. No figures, no images. It's only love, the love for God.
I left Christianity in late 96, early 97, after my own personal study of the Bible with an unbiased mind and seeing the contradictions not only in the texts but in the messages of the Bible in the different places, the Old Testament versus the New Testament, Jesus' teachings versus Paul's teachings, all of these things compiled together with some of the teachings of Paul, realizing that they were not in the teachings of Jesus. They came from things like Roman paganism, pagan worship, and different things of this nature. These proofs to me told me that Christianity could not be the form of religion that God had sent down for mankind, that there must be something wrong with this message. And then also with looking at the prophets in the Old Testament, that Noah was being called a drunkard, and David slept with Bathsheba, killed Uriah to cover up the thing. You know, all of these things said to me that, you know, this could not be the example that was given to me of how to live my life. I was asked, what is my suggestion for someone who is searching for the truth? My suggestion to you is to open your heart and your mind. Take a step back and open your heart and your mind to whatever comes to you, whether it be something that goes against what you have always believed or not. You have to take a step back, look analytically, look with an open mind to what you have believed in. Go back and read the Bible, go back and read the Old Testament, go back and read what Jesus taught, and look at it with an open mind, and you will find, as I found, that throughout the whole entire Bible, the message is the same, that God is one, that He should be worshipped in His oneness, and that the prophets that were sent to us should be followed. Their examples should be followed, and they should be the ones that guided towards humanity, even Jesus Himself. So I suggest you to sit back, have an open mind, and go through everything that you have been taught. And then read with an open mind and open heart, and see what God, and ask Him for His guidance. Tell God you are earnestly and sincerely seeking His guidance, and He will guide you, because He is the only one who can guide.
Is there one overarching idea in Islam that really appealed to you, that actually sealed your conversion?
The central idea would be one perfect God. It is flawless, and one deen, one religion, a perfect religion for all mankind, not just a special board of directors or their own country club, for everyone.
What do you have in faith now that you didn't have before as a Jew?
I have true belief.
My advice is, just be sincere. I mean, God, Allah, He hears everyone's prayer, Just be sincere and be open to the truth. There's lots of baggage that you have to push on the side, and that's what I was trying to tell you. There was a fight between myself, what my desire wanted, and what the truth was. And that's what Islam is really. Is once you reach the truth, is you're submitting to it. Whether you might not, want to wake up, for example, at 5 in the morning to pray, right? And a person seeking the truth, and he might hear that and might not be used to it, be like, oh man, 5 o'clock or 4:30 sometimes, or 4 o'clock. That's your body, unnecessarily. You want to sleep, right? But that's the whole issue of Islam. You go against that desire of the body, because you submit that will to the will of the Creator. And that's the beautiful thing about it, as you explained. That's, the concept of faith in Islam, and Tawheed, and worshipping what do you want, If you're sincere and you ask for it, get down there on your knees. Put your head on the ground. If you're Christian, you're not going to have a problem with it, because,